everybody. Good afternoon to you. How are you? So, woke up this morning and Mr. Snowflake, under the hood, did a video on Emily. Now, there's been talk in Girl World about video footage. There was talk about video footage that Emily had of her and Amber having some sort of an argument or fight. And Amber herself alluded to some kind of video footage where she was, quote, half naked and having an episode of some sort. Well, I watched the Under the Hood, Mr. Snowflake episode. There's no video footage. It's just all text messages going back and forth between Emily and Mr. Snowflake. And after watching the episode, it's pretty clear that Amber is an abusive person, and her abuse isn't just limited to just one person. There's patterns here. There's definite patterns, and those patterns are shown in Mr. Snowflake's video. There's all kinds of disturbing things that Emily claims to have happened, such as Amber not leaving her alone, that after coming home from a 12-hour shift of work, and she's a healthcare worker, Amber literally would not let Emily sleep, which is dangerous. If you're a healthcare worker, you're a nurse perhaps, and you're in the medical field and you're exhausted and you come home and you're not getting proper sleep, that could be dangerous for patients that you deal with in a hospital or a healthcare facility, because, like, what if you're exhausted and you're not paying attention to what you're doing? So there's all kinds of things there. As you can imagine, Girl World has a lot to say about the situation. And Amberlynn Reid herself, right now, she's on a live. She's raging about Tommy, Emily. And I would just like to reiterate, Girl World, we don't like Tommy. We don't like Emily. Nope. I mean, trash is trash. Emily is trash. Amberlynn is trash. Being someone, you got a girlfriend and you're encouraging the girlfriend to get to 1,000+ pounds, they're so heavy that they pass away, you're trash. You're encouraging them in a fetish that harms their body and ultimately takes their life, you're trash. Straight up, you're trash. And Amber's trash for all kinds of reasons. So there's no good guy here. It's not about a good guy or a bad guy. Both are trash. This is an instance of, we just want both sides of the story, because Amber, for the last several hours, has been giving everybody her side of the story. She's been rushing to get everything out there and make as much money as possible and try to do damage control before Emily starts talking and Emily starts putting her narrative out there. So it's trash against trash. And all we're looking for is the truth in all of it. We want to know both sides of the story. So you guys know what time it is. We're going into the Twitter peeps, and then we'll get into the Under the Hood, Mr. Snowflake video. Time for the Twitter peeps. All right, it's time for the Twitter peeps. I have been busy, y'all. I have been busy, like, just collecting stuff. There's so many tweets. So much stuff. But I gather it up for you guys because you know I love you. I want you guys to see all the stuff on Twitter. So for those of you on Twitter and you want to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you not on Twitter, that's why I spend time gathering up all the tweets so you guys can see all the thoughts. So let's start here with a post courtesy of Foomp Olympics. Foomp Olympics says, this is pure poetry. Amber talks about how things only seemed great in the beginning because Emily love bombed her, and then crashes out when she reads a message from Emily saying Amber was the one who did the love bombing, LMAO. I'm going to ask the obvious question. So why haven't these two blocked each other? I mean, why not? They allegedly hate each other, right? They're done, right? So why haven't they blocked each other? Why do they continue to keep talking to one another? Why do they keep going at one another? Y'all know I did that tarot reading last night. You know what my card said. They're not done. And I'm sticking to what I feel. I'm going by instinct. They're scamming girl world out of girl world money. This is all performative drama. Like there's too much fishiness going on here, and it's not the barracuda and ricotta. I think they're putting on a show for the sake of making money. They're like, we know that girl world loves drama, so let's just make some up. I mean, during the live that Amber did, she was talking to Emily off to the side while the live was going on. And here's Emily hopping in her live. Why would you do that? If you're going to go to Mr. Snowflake and claim Amber is abusive, okay, she was abusive, well, then why are you making a point to be around her in any way, even if it's online? When someone is abusive, you leave them alone. You don't want to talk to them. You want no contact with them. You block them, you're done. But yet Emily is still hovering around Amber. So it looks funny to me. It looks really freaking funny. But these clips are from the live that Amber is doing. So how about we just watch the clips?
So I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or was there any little red flags? Well, there was red flags for me, but you know what? I was so fucking blinded by love bombing that I just like, red flags? What? They're in heart shapes though.
Can I just say I hate Smuglin? Like, she is so smug right now. You know why she's smug? Because she's like, all these idiots in girl world, all the people that hate me, they're sending me money, which is exactly what I want. I'm getting the views, which is exactly what I want. She knew what she was doing this whole drama arc. Her and Tommy both, I feel they're both in cahoots with this. Like, there's too many things that look weird to me and feel weird to me, and my cards even back that up. So like, she is so smug. She's like, I'm getting all the attention. I got my crown back. That's the energy she's putting out.
Oh, all the red flags. It's all heart shaped, folks. It's all heart shaped. It's totally fine. And I also see red flags in the shade of pink. So it's cool.
Smug.
I guess it
Absolutely.
was a typical scenario of love bombing. I stayed the same throughout our whole relationship. I guess it was a typical.
So Emily, I guess, was in the chat sending super chats. Why would you do that? If you're done with Amber, you're done with Amber. If you're so done with Amber that you go to the person that she hates the most and you start to drop tea, why are you going in her chat? Why are you maintaining contact? Why aren't the two of you blocking each other? You know, something ain't right in the water, girl world. Something's up. I think we're being had. Ghost Crab says, Big Al raging, denying everything when all Feedy Tommy told us we have heard from several other girlfriends already that she's controlling, abusive, lying, isolating them from family and friends, trying to quit their jobs. Yeah, like, it feels like tea, but this is tea we've heard before, haven't we? I mean, this is stuff that Beck told us and other people have told us. So are we really hearing any kind of new tea? Is it really shocking? It's really not shocking. It's in the same vein of what we've already been exposed to. Fondue Spiteful Beach says, Foodie Beauty Amberlynn Reid, your little performative speeches to Tommy proved nothing. Always everyone else's fault, especially the BPD. So why in the F is she still not blocked? Facts. Why is she still not blocked? Why haven't they blocked each other? And Amber blaming what's going on with you for BPD. I'm sure there are a lot of people that don't act the way that you do if they have BPD. You can't blame your bad episodes on BPD. Maybe it's just you. Milk Tea Notoriety Services. Hello, Milk Tea. Milk Tea says, if ALR has messages to back up Emily wanting her to come back, I'm going to need her to show them. Nothing is private at this point. Nope. Where are the receipts, Amber? If you have receipts, if you have been wronged in some way, in any way, The best way to vindicate yourself is to show the receipts. And I know you know how to put a video together. I mean, you do it on YouTube. Why can't you do it again? Put all the receipts together, screenshot everything, put them into a video, edit it all together, add a voiceover, done. Would take you all of like what, 15, 20, 30 minutes? Like if you're feeling attacked, if you're feeling wrong, if there's lies out there about you, prove us wrong. We're waiting. Where are the receipts? You know this is Girl World. You know that we're all about the receipts. You haven't shown any. Lean Cuisine Enthusiast says Amberlynn recreated an amberism. Apparently, looking at pictures of other women is micro cheating. What? Just going through Facebook or something and just looking at pictures is micro cheating? No, not really. Not in my book. Lean Cuisine Enthusiast says, according to Tommy, when she had a fight with Amberlynn Reid, she would not allow Tommy to go to bed mid-fight. If Tommy tried to sleep, ALR would stand next to the bed and wake her up as soon as she fell asleep. That is legit torture tactic. LaDonda Williams says, same as a story Beck told when she tried to break up with her and she wouldn't let her leave the car until she promised to work it out. Yeah, similar tactics. It's very controlling. It's very manipulative. Sure is. Football Olympic says, every day I did not know what Emily I was going to wake up to. Was it the one that loved me? Was it the one that hated me? Was it the one that just wanted my belly? Oh, we're just saying all the quiet parts out loud now. And this is from the new live that she's on right now, so let's watch.
But you, every day I did not know what Emily I was going to wake up to. Was it the one that loved me? Was it the one that hated me? Was it the one that just wanted my belly? I never knew. 9 times out of 10, it was the one that hated me.
You know, I got a big problem with what she's saying. Big problem. So I'm sure that Amberlynn knew about Emily's fetish. Maybe that's how they met. Because Emily has a big fetish for really, really big women. She's a serious feedy. She doesn't want her women big. She wants them as big as possible. Her deceased ex was well over 1,000 pounds and passed away in the hospital. 1,000 pounds, y'all. That's insane. And the crazier part is that Emily is a healthcare worker. You can't make this stuff up. A healthcare worker with a feety fetish that had a girlfriend who was 1,000 pounds. And before the girlfriend was even passed away, like she was already looking around for different partners. It's madness. But I'm sure Amberlynn knew about Emily's fetish and maybe wanted that because she's like, if this person's got this certain kind of fetish, they're not going to encourage me to get healthy or exercise or eat healthy food. I can just stay the way that I am and they'll encourage it. And Emily did. Because Emily and Tommy, like, were active with doing the feety fetish stuff. As a matter of fact, Amberlynn did the hoo-cow stuff, which I mentioned in the last react. Hoo-cow fetish stuff is where you use milk and cookies. If you guys want to know more about the hoo-cow fetish, you can look it up yourself, but it's kind of on the dark side. But you're over here complaining about Tommy's fetish, Amberlynn. At the same time, while you're with Tommy, and you're probably still with Tommy, in my opinion, the two of you are making fetish content and selling it to people. I heard there was a video that you made, like the hoo-cow premiere, that should have gone to 20 people that only went to 5. So you ripped people off. But you were very active with not only indulging in her fetish, but profiting off it with other people. So don't act like you weren't into that fetish too, girl. You were making money doing that fetish, and you probably still are. You might be doing stuff offline like Foodie. Florida Salt and Sass says, weaponizing therapy speak. She went to therapy long enough over the years to grab those, then threw the rest out the window. Yeah, probably. Kristen says, words I never want to hear from Amberlynn again. Narcissist, gaslighting, reactive blank, trauma bond, selective outrage, victim blaming, fat phobia, BPD, love bombing. Florida Salt and says for both the girls, your mental health issues are not your shield or your get out of girl world jail free cards after your blank or poor behavior choices go public. You both refuse to do the work to get better, and I suspect you both don't want to because it can be weaponized easily. Yeah, like if they didn't have issues, if there was nothing wrong with, say, Foodie or Amber, then if they acted badly, they'd have nothing to blame their bad behavior on. Oh, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this issue. That's why I act the way that I do. That's why I eat poorly. That's why I have these bad health problems. No, it's because you're making bad choices and you're doing it willingly. Like if you have issues and you decide to let said issues go on, then you're choosing to be in bad health, be it physical health, bad mental health, bad emotional health. If you got problems, it's up for you to solve your problems. DX says, what's crazy is that Amber knew that Tommy was going to talk about Rarity, which is why she decided to go live and do, quote, damage control, crash out. She let the cat go during the argument to make Tommy come home and extend her stay, y'all. I believe that. I do believe that. And I'm just going to say it. I have a feeling that maybe she wanted to let Tommy's cat go too, but she messed that up. She wanted to punish Emily for something. Ghost Crab says, in my opinion, when Emily told Amber to leave, she got seething mad and debated with herself how she could hurt Emily. Then she thought about letting Emily's animals out, but then got the idea to let her own cat out so she could stay longer. She chose Rarity because she was older and female. If you did that, Amber, you're going to burn. There's a special level of hell for you. They've already set up a condo for you, girl. Percival says she mentions Rarity once at 10 p.m. and then continues on asking for another chance and sending long Snapchat videos. F you, Amber, bite a curb. You were more concerned about your relationship than the cat. So here's some screenshots from the Under the Hood Mr. Snowflake video. So this is dated November 17th, 2024. They're talking and she's saying, so this is Amber talking. So am I leaving? Wait, I read that wrong. I also have moments where I snap on you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. And here is Emily talking back to her saying, I'm afraid to come home, to be honest. Imagine that. Being someone that you have a job, you have a home, and you're afraid to go home. You're afraid to go home to your own home because the person who's staying with you, someone is a guest in your house. That's how bad it was. Emily was afraid to go home to her own home after work. Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch. She says, don't be afraid. I'm not going to cause you any stress, BS. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room until you wake up for work. So that's how bad it was, Amber. It's Emily's house. She's the one working and paying the bills and paying the rent, and she can't even be comfortable in her own home. And you're saying, oh, I'll be generous. You can go to your room and stay there and I won't bother you. So Emily is supposed to be sequestered in a bedroom in her own house and not come out? Madness. Amberlynn says, if you didn't hurt me on purpose, why would you regret it? Get real. Emily says, I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, I regret anything that I've done that has hurt you. I understand. Then she says, oh my OMG, Princess is out. Princess is Emily's cat. She just went up the stairs into the bedroom. I was so confused for a minute. So did you try to let out Princess? You were trying to let Princess out the door and Princess went in another direction and you couldn't get to her, Amber? Thank goodness for that. I'm sorry about Rarity, but Did you try to let out both cats? Was that the intention? Now listen to this. She says, Emily, can I ask you something? Emily says, what? She says, can I have another chance? So Rarity is outside in the cold. It's snowing. It's freezing outside. All that Amberlynn can think about is, can I have another chance? Rather than looking for her pet. You've got to be joking me. Emily says, no. Amber says, so you want me to pack my bags and leave? Emily says, yes. Well, hello, ding, ding, ding. It's over. This person that you're with is saying, no, you can't have another chance. So why even ask the question, do I have to leave? Of course you have to leave. If it's over, it's over. It's not your house. Get out, Amber. Amber says, check Snap, please. Emily says, I've been abused before and I was dumb to have stayed with her because look what it led to. Amber says, I would never do that. She says, ugh, I sent a whole video. It's taking forever to send. Rarity is outside freezing. What is Amber doing? Like, she's making videos for Emily and send him on Snapchat rather than go look for her cat. I can't. Like, hang on. I know it's freezing outside. I know it's cold. I know that I should be looking for my pet. Like, she just got out somewhere. I might be able to find her, but no, let's stop and make a video for Emily. That can't wait until you find your cat? I guess not. Not in your world. Natalia says, wow. All right, here's a comment. Imagine Matt says, Amber added that quote, I didn't go to the back porch text specifically so that when Emily found the back door open, there was no doubt on who left it open. She's certified insane. Yeah, she probably did it and then set things in motion to make Emily think that it was her fault. DX says, so Tommy has a huge blow-up fight with Amber and decided to kick her out. Then Amberlynn, quote, lost Rarity at 5 a.m. Didn't text about it until 10 p.m., which is 5 hours later, to which Tommy replied that she was afraid to come home. And by that time, Amber had not yet checked the back porch. That's weird. No, that's Amber. Florida Salt and Sass says, no one cares about my mental health or my pain. Hashtag Amberlynn Reid. And why should we want when you don't care about it either? You refuse therapy. You're semi-compliant with meds, which incidentally aren't the primary treatment for borderline PD. You openly degrade professionals. Yeah, like if she doesn't care about her mental health, why should we care? There's nothing we can do about it. Ghost Crab says, imagine you quarrel with Amber. She screams at you, stops you from leaving, and then she flings herself at you and lands on top of you on the ground. The fear Emily must have felt, like no pun, no fun, no nothing. She must have thought, that's how I die, pancaked. Yeah, like I mentioned before in my last react, like Amber, during their argument, Amber was following Emily throughout the house. And then she had her pinned in the bathroom. And then Amber talked about being kicked in the stomach. I'm sorry. If I'm a person and I feel threatened and I'm pinned in a room and I can't escape, I can't get to the window, there's no other door, like a very small space, and here's this 600-pound person coming at me, fight or flight. I'm going to fight. If I'm telling you to get away from me and you're not getting away from me and you've got me cornered, I'm going to fight my way out of that corner. Amber's a big girl. And like I said, some people, even smaller people, when they get mad, they get ungodly strong. That might be the case with Amber. And also in the Under the Hood video, you guys are going to see different things. Like Amber is apparently a thrower. Like when she gets mad, she throws things. So not only is she verbally abusive, but she's also like, she can be quite threatening. And it's very, very sad for her pets too. They feel very intimidated. Seattle Spire's Low Carb World says both individuals are problematic for different reasons, but we know how ALR likes to manipulate with her YouTube coins in hopes they quit their job and depend on her. Emily was not down with that, and she could not handle it. Yeah, I have to wonder if the whole spend time with me, Emily would go to work, Amberlynn wouldn't let Emily go to sleep. Like maybe hoping that if Emily got tired, she wouldn't go to work and spend more time with her. or like if she went to her job, she'd make mistakes, so she would get fired. So then she would have to depend on Amberlynn. I have to wonder if that was the thinking for Amber. Emily provided, Lori Koff says, Emily provided screenshots of her conversation kicking Amberlynn. Oh, that's the same one before. Sorry. That's a repeat. All right, so this one from Sandy Syria Beast Quesadillas. This had to do with the Under the Hood premiere of the video. Sandy says, we had to turn on members only chat because even at one message every 5 minutes, we couldn't keep up. Yeah. Look at the amount of people that were watching the video, y'all. Look, look, look. Everybody in Girl World was watching. Everybody. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. And I've also heard there might be a part two. Like Mr. Snowflake said that he was just originally intending for like part one, but there might be a part two coming. Fupa Limbic says another ex-partner of Amberlynn speaking about her not letting them leave the room, throwing things at them, digging her nails in their skin. So she's physically abusive. She's verbally abusive. She's physically abusive. She's financially abusive. I mean, she covers all the bases, baby. Sure does. Lori Koff says, Emily says Amberlynn Reid's poor pets. They were terrified of ALR throwing tantrums. So here's part of the text from Emily. Both her pets would get scared during a tantrum. Wasabi would always run and hide in his little enclosed litter box when she would yell. I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for Twinkie too, being stuck inside 24/7. I had to say I had no idea about when or what time she's referring to about being in the grocery store. I had to end it from multitude of reasons. She's obviously didn't take it well. There was a lot of threats made of trying to ruin my life if I said anything publicly of her online. She still tries to reach out to me. Sometimes she's civil and sometimes absolutely unhinged. And you're still speaking to her. Why? Emily, why are you talking to this woman who is this abusive to you? That's why I say it something don't smell right in the water. Something don't smell right. Lori Koff says, Emily saying Amberlynn Reid deliberately posted crying Rarity videos after they got in a fight so ALR would look sad about her missing cat. So here's some more screenshots. So the top pink message is Emily saying she made a couple of videos crying about Rarity. I'm sorry, that's from Mr. Snowflake. Mr. Snowflake says she made a couple of videos crying about Rarity. Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is crap, I've always thought. I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. Emily says, I was home for a few of them that she filmed. It was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying and put it on camera. I even asked her, why would you film right now if you're this upset? Wish you would get this angry, so I mentioned anything about the vlogs. She was obviously the expert and always knew about the right thing to post. So you watch this woman getting manipulative in front of people, and you're still there. You're still talking to her. Like I said, Emily, you're trash too. Wonder Mom says, so feedy or not, Emily tells us what all the girlfriends told us. Amber is abusive. Amber will use her size to control people, like her lies and her pets. This is not new, but shows that Amber is a monster and no one is safe. Not the girlfriends, not the mom, not her pets. Ghost Crab says, demanded she come home after work, and when she wouldn't, Amber threw out her old cat so she could blackmail her to come home. Did not look for Rarity one bit, did not cry about Rarity, and filmed videos about Rarity after they had an argument and she was already crying. Ghost Crab says, so Emily says that Amber gaslit her, threw stuff at her, threw herself onto her so she fell onto the floor, drew blood with her nails on her arm, blocked her from leaving, screamed at her so loud the animals hid away, kept her awake so she would not be able to sleep before work. Yeah, like all of that is in the video. So that's it for the Twitter peeps. let's get on to the actual video. Like, there's nothing but text messages here, so anybody who might be worried about like the worrying footage, like that's not in this. It's just text messages and conversation between Emily and under the hood, Mr. Snowflake. So we just blow this up and we'll get to it. And I hope you guys enjoy. And if you do, please like and subscribe. So let's get going.
Begin or start?
Hi everyone, this is me talking with Emily. Right, here we go. Hi Emily, hope all is well. What made you want to come out now and discuss your time with Amber? Honestly, I was content staying silent for a long time, but I'm tired of watching her dodge any real accountability. She creates her own reality and then expects everyone to play along. The sad part is most people do because they're either scared of her or don't want to deal with the drama. But I hit a point where I just couldn't sit back and watch her keep rewriting the truth. So I say, well, I'm glad you have decided to speak up, so I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or were there any little red flags? She says, at first everything was great. I really thought I had found someone who was kind, laid back, and just fun to be around. She was able to carry on a conversation, and it's hard to find these days. Looking back now, I obviously was looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. She really made it seem like she was this grounded, supportive person. I told her upfront that I was grieving Colleen, and still will be.
Obviously, not grieving enough. I mean, I know that everybody handles grief differently. Everybody has their own way of handling grief. So she was grieving Colleen, which I believe. And then directly after that, she's pursuing different bigger girls online, like 3 or 4 at a time. And she picked Amber. So you're grieving your girlfriend who's no longer here. And then what, as part of your grief, you're doing feedy content with Amber and the two of you are making money. Really weird way to grieve.
She said she understood, respected that. She said it wouldn't be an issue at all. That was super important to me, for her to be accepting of it. And for a little while, it felt good. We actually had fun together. We laughed, joked around, and it was chill. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her before she started showing me who she really is. I guess it was a typical scenario of love bombing. After everything I had been through, it was just nice to feel wanted and not so alone anymore. And I say, was it still nice when she came to stay with you? How long was she meant to stay for? Emily says, there were a few little red flags early on, like how Amber would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day.
Boy, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Who do we know that does the same thing? Foodie Beauty? Think about her and Salah. Like, whenever Salah left the house, he had to be FaceTiming her and showing her exactly where he was at. Like, she would insist on the FaceTime, FaceTime, FaceTime. It seems like the girls, they're very obsessive and they're very controlling and it's insecure and jealous. It's like, I have to know where you are all the time.
Or if I was busy at work and didn't have time to message her.
Yes, I was very codependent with Destiny, and I can admit that. I can absolutely admit that. I will admit that 100%. I wanted either like a text or like a call just to be like, I love you. My day's been good. That's all. That's all. Because I was home alone 24/7.
And that's your problem. If you're alone 24/7 at home, keep yourself busy. Hello, get hobbies, get interest, get a life. Live your life. Have things to do. It is healthy to have things to do. The problem with Amber, the problem with Foodie is they have nothing to do and they expect whoever their partner is to amuse them and to entertain them and be next to them every second of every day. And that is far too much. That is suffocating. It is controlling. It is unhealthy. It's toxic. And they get very upset when the person says, hey, I want to go out and do something. I want to go to the store. I want to go spend time with friends. They don't have a life, so they expect their partner to also not have a life. As a matter of fact, their point of view is, I should be your entire life. I should be your entire focus. It's just not possible.
I'm not perfect. Beck wasn't perfect. Like, I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me. Like, always.
She'd take it personally and get upset. During my first visit to Oklahoma, things actually seemed to go really well, but it was a short trip and we were still in that honeymoon phase. It was during my second visit that things started to feel off. She would get irritated if I checked my phone or responded to messages that weren't about her or focused on her. That visit also happened right after she posted who I was and the doxing stuff that followed, so tensions were high, so I kind of brushed it off at the time, thinking it was just stress. But everything really started to change when Amber came to visit me. She was originally only supposed to stay for a week or two, tops.
A week or two. Just a week or 2 weeks.
It wasn't going to be some extended thing. We were planning on probably around 2 weeks. I think she stayed like 3 months, wasn't it? 3 or 4 months?
Lord. So the original plan was 2 weeks and it got extended to 3 months? That's a long time to spend with somebody.
2 weeks, because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day two, I've
Day 2, 48 hours, and things are already starting to go wrong.
only seen these. Was it last night? I haven't slept for ages, didn't I? I've only seen these once as I was talking to Emily, so I've probably forgotten most of it. Because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day 2 of her being at my house, things already started to shift. It was weird how high-strung she was that early on. Day 2. I don't know what shifted, or it was the change in environment, but she just acted off. She really didn't like that I had a life outside of her.
That's what shifted. That's what shifted. Amber getting irritated, Amber getting angry because Emily had a life. Emily had responsibilities. Emily had a job. Emily had independence and could make her own money. It's something that the girls don't like. They want their partners codependent on them, focused on them. They want control of their partners. It's really twisted and diabolical how Amber and Foodie, their way of keeping somebody around them is by twisting things to where whoever the partner is, you don't have a life beyond them. You don't have a social life. You don't have friends. You don't have a job. You don't have your money. They want you dependent on them. They want to put you in a position where you're going to them for everything. You're dependent on them for everything. They want to make a situation of no escape. They don't want you to have a choice to walk away and say, I don't want to be with you. It gets on their nerves if you actually have a life.
I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. I have a family, friends, pets, a house to take care of. I
Right?
have responsibilities. But anything that wasn't about her felt like an inconvenience to her, and she made that very clear. Well, by day 2, Jesus. I'd get home from a 12-hour shift, completely exhausted from a stressful job, and she'd get upset if I wanted to go straight to bed. She'd say things like, oh, you're not going to hang out with me, or ask me to take her to the casino or go shopping. And if I said no, she'd get upset and compare it to her working on vlogs all day. Oh, yeah.
And Amber, I don't know exactly what job Emily has. I heard it's in healthcare, but 12-hour shifts are a lot, especially if you're in healthcare. I don't know if Emily is a nurse, if she's a CNA, an RN, RPN, but being a nurse is a very exhausting job. It's a very tiring job, the things you got to deal with. It takes a lot out of you. I have a friend who is a nurse, and like I've seen her come home from work and she's wiped out. She loves her job, but it wipes her out just dealing with patients and like all the different things that happen during the shift. It's very exhausting. And it's also very irresponsible to know that you have a partner in the healthcare field. If they're working 12-hour shifts, they're coming home, they're wiped out, and you're purposely keeping them up at night, you might be putting a patient the next day at risk for getting hurt, because the person who is the nurse who's exhausted, they may not be paying close attention to the medication that they're giving the patient or the care. There might be a mistake. There might be an accident due to exhaustion. And all that Amber is thinking about is, what about me? What about me? You're not spending time with me. If you are deciding to be with someone who has a job who works long, exhausting hours, then by getting involved with that person, you're saying, I understand what they do, and I should give them space to do what they do, not be focused on what I want.
Someone actually gave me the idea 3-minute vlogmases. Like, and if you go over 3 minutes, then awesome, that's amazing. At least you're uploading every single day, even if it's 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea.
Saying she still had the energy to do things, so I should too. Amber expected me to be constantly available. If I didn't text or call during my breaks, I'm sure we've done this with Destiny, or if I wasn't giving her attention constantly, she'd get upset or start a fight. I told her in the beginning that I need to be able to have alone time because that is how I decompress from stress.
Right. And that was something that I saw my friend. Um, like she needed her decompression time after work. Just when you get home, it's like you got to shift over from your job to being home and like kick your shoes off and make a meal and like just let it all go for a minute. And Amber doesn't understand that because she's sitting at the house and she's not doing anything and she's not moving around. And so she's got energy, of course, because she's not done anything strenuous.
We've had arguments about that before. She visited too, because she didn't like that. She would always accuse me of not loving her and say how terrible of a girlfriend I was. She wanted me to call out of work anytime she was having a crisis, or just felt like she wanted me to stay home.
Are you getting my text? I feel really sick and I am having an anxiety attack. I really need someone.
I think we all suspected that, talked about that.
Yeah, and it kind of feels manipulative, doesn't it? Like if one of Amber's partners were at work or they're busy, suddenly she's having a crisis, come back to me, spend time with me. That's her way of getting attention and getting that person away from whatever it is they're doing.
She was always in a bad mood because of this. If I did anything that didn't involve her directly, she would start an argument. I was exhausted trying to juggle everything in my life, on top of her constantly being mad at me. We'd get into arguments and she just wouldn't let anything go. She would gaslight, deflect, just typical narcissistic behavior. It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before a shift. She came into the room and stood over the bed.
And by the way, that's also irresponsible, Amber. If Emily is in the healthcare field, like she's got a responsibility to whatever patients she's taking care of. And you're stressing her out before work, like all you're thinking about is I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad. And you might be affecting complete strangers and their medical care more than you realize. And again, that is dangerous. It is dangerous to do that.
I'm just really surprised that she didn't just like keep you locked and cornered into an argument all night and you got no sleep. Because if that would have happened with me and her, that's what she would have done with me.
She told me that if I wasn't going to finish the conversation, which was basically her going on and on about how I didn't love her and all this other crap, then said, fine, if I can't have peace from being able to have this conversation, then you aren't going to either. She would then stand next to the bed I was sleeping in and intentionally keep me up all night. I felt like this happened every time she knew I was going to work. Like she was intentionally keeping me up because she didn't like that I wasn't home instead of at work. Emily again? Yeah, this stuff was happening more and more frequently. And then I say, sounds like she didn't want you to work and just spend all day at home with her. I'm guessing she used BPD as an excuse for her shitty behavior. How did I know that? She 100% used your BPD. Her BPD as an excuse. That's what's frustrating me the most.
Imagine having BPD, unregulated, unmedicated, and finding out just betrayal.
Okay, let's go back to that part. I want to go back to that part one more time, please.
Most.
Imagine having BPD, unregulated, unmedicated, and
Stop. Unregulated and unmedicated. And whose fault is that? that it's unregulated and unmedicated. Who's the person with the BPD? I believe it's you. So whose responsibility is it to get medicated, to get regulated, to go to therapy? I believe that's also you. Right? Right. So why didn't you? What's the excuse? What's the reason that you could come up with that would make sense? You can't say, I didn't have enough money to go get the medication. You did. You can't say, I didn't have the money to go to therapy. You did. You can't say there's not a way to go to therapy. There is. So if you're running around, you have BPD, and you're not getting medication, you're not regulating it, you're not seeking out therapy, you're not seeking out help, that's all on you. But you want to stay that way, because then if you act badly, you can blame it on an issue that you have rather than yourself. When you are the one responsible for that, you are the one responsible for yourself. True? Everybody is responsible for themselves and anything connected to themselves. Whatever problems or issues they may have, it is their responsibility to fix it. But you like to be broken. You like the attention that you get from being broken. Because if you healed yourself, you couldn't blame your issues for whatever you did wrong. You couldn't make a mistake and say, oh, it wasn't really me. It was an issue that I have that I just haven't fixed yet. But if you were all fixed, you couldn't do that. You and Foodie both like to get attention being broken. You want to make it into a talking point. You want to monetize it. You want to make money with it, but you don't want to fix it.
Finding out just betrayal. Like, you go crazy. Like, you genuinely go crazy.
Anytime she'd have one of her tantrums, she wouldn't take any accountability and say it's because she has BPD. And she'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. When she would literally scream at me about something, like taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would.
Did you really set a timer? I did a couple times.
Imagine that, somebody getting mad because you're taking 5 minutes longer than normal to smoke a cigarette. What?
Yes.
Taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would. When I went outside to smoke. Alright, I told her she can't use that as an excuse if she refuses to do anything to help herself to get better. She made a lot of false promises of getting into therapy. She told me in so many different occasions that she was signed up and she never went.
And that feels familiar too. Because I'm sure Foodie did that with Salah. That if he got on her case about her weight, about her health, like, she would promise to be better, to eat healthier food, to do therapy, and she never did it. It's a pattern with the girls. If they are with somebody and the person that they're with is like, I'm done with your issues, you're not getting help, they will try to give themselves an extension in the relationship by saying, oh, I'll get the help now, I'll eat healthy now, I'll seek the therapy now. They'll make the promises, but they won't do any follow through. And the people that they're with, give them a chance. And with the girls, they're like, oh, that just buys me a little more time with the person, at least a few weeks until they figure out that I lied.
I remember a video of her saying, oh yeah, I found a therapist here in Wisconsin.
So I have actually found a psychiatrist / therapist who I'm going to be speaking to. I'm going to be calling. I have not called yet. I have discovered them. I have found them. I know about them, and they know nothing about me yet.
And this is me. Yeah, I remember a video where she said she found a therapist in Wisconsin, and I thought, right, she's been awful to Emily, and this is her way of saying, hey, I'm going to get help. Because that's what she did with Beck a lot. I'll work on myself, I'll improve, and it didn't last very long.
So I was going to see a BPD therapist when I was in Wisconsin, but they were located in Wisconsin. And I was wasn't thinking at the time, and I do not live in Wisconsin. I live in Oklahoma. So now I have to re-find someone.
And I just want to throw in here that you can find an online therapist, which is not limited to static locations. She could have always done that. There's all kinds of like sites to go for therapy if you want it.
And again, so what would you do all day when you were at work? I'm going to take a guess and say nothing. Lay in bed all day watching reaction channels. How could I have gotten that right?
I wonder.
Yep, that was one of her manipulative tactics and staying longer when it was getting to the point where I was asking her to leave. She thought she would get a therapist here. I'd let her stay so she could do the therapy.
So it wasn't about her actually wanting the therapy for her issues, which had been a problem in her past relationships, which caused problems in her past relationships. The only time she wanted the therapy was when the relationship that she's in presently is at the brink of breaking apart. And it's Amberlynn Reid's way of throwing in a Hail Mary to save the relationship and to keep the person walking away. It's manipulative. Like the promise of therapy and the promise of getting better just to hang on to somebody that clearly wants to leave them.
She did a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. She'd sit around and watch YouTube videos, including reaction channels, all day.
Reaction channels.
Shocking. I did her laundry. Again, I think Casey did all the laundry.
Because me and my mom would do her laundry. I remember back then I would do her laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. Chris always does the laundry.
I cleaned up after her and took care of the pets.
So Emily works in the healthcare field, working 12-hour shifts, which were exhausting. Amber should have been doing all the stuff since she's there all day. Should have been doing, in my opinion, she should have been doing the laundry, taking care of the pets, all of it. So on top of Emily working 12-hour shifts, which are grueling if you're a healthcare worker, like dealing with the patients and all the situations, got to come home and do all the cleaning, do the laundry, feed the pets, all the stuff that Amber could have done.
She won't ever let Twinkie or the dogs out during the day when she was home, so I'll come home from work. Oh yeah, I have to clean up Twinkie's pee off my brand new floor that I put in. I was really proud of that floor because I recently just put it in and I did it myself, which is a lot of hard physical work. Well, Amber knows about that.
She's claiming property damages because her dog pees on her carpet, and then Twinkie also was peeing on her carpet. They both were peeing on the carpet. Like while we were sleeping, they both. So what I did was I bought this really expensive, I bought two of them, this really cool like gate type thing that she actually still has up to block the there was pee pads down as well, just for like at night when we were both sleeping and they both had a mind of their own, you know. Use pee pads. I actually recently started using pee pads for when I'm sleeping. I have an elderly dog.
You know what, Amber? Maybe I'm wrong. I have a feeling that poor Twinkie never got to go outside. Twinkie probably never saw the backyard. It's so sad that the pets that could go out have gone outside and enjoyed the outside probably never saw the outside. Did you ever let Twinkie out to go pee in the yard? No? Sad. And I just want to add to that, when it comes to animals like cats and dogs, sometimes they will pee on carpet or beds or floors when they get stressed out or if they're sick. And as you guys are going to see in this video, there was a very uncomfortable atmosphere in the house. There was really bad energy from Amber, like scary energy. And animals can pick up on that energy and sometimes react to that. They get nervous just like people. They get stressed out just like people, and they may do things that they normally don't do when they're stressed out or when they're sick or when there's something seriously wrong. So I'm wondering if the peeing on the carpet, peeing on the floor, is that conditioned? Like that is what Twinkie was used to doing because Amber never let out Twinkie? Or was it due to stress? Or was there something wrong to cause that behavior?
It just happens. Dogs are dogs. Oh, like I tried to fix it, like genuinely, and then I ended up buying a whole steam cleaner for her. Like I tried to fucking fix it, bro. But it's crazy because she has this cat named Princess, which she keeps trying to throw out, by the way, on the streets, and I keep telling her not to. She really wants to fuck around. We can fuck around and find out. So I'm fucking done. Anyways, she has a cat that pees all over the fucking downstairs, on the carpet, on the chair, on the couch.
Question. let's just say that that were true, although I don't believe a word that's coming out of Amber's mouth because she's a liar. I mean, we're hearing her side, but we weren't in the room to see this actually happen. She might be just making up a, what does she call it? A hoot and berry, and putting that out there to be damaging to Emily. If this were true, though, Amber, was the cat doing this prior to you being there? Or did the cat start doing this when you got there? Was it because of you? Was it because of the way you were acting? Maybe because of the yelling and the screaming and the way you were behaving. Like I said, animals pick up on energy and they respond to energy. And if there's someone or something in the house that makes them feel uncomfortable, they will act out in ways that they normally don't do. There's something maybe in the environment that's making them behave that way.
On the clothes, on the this, on the that. So stop trying to fucking blame me and my dog for everything in your life.
That's another thing. Now that I'm just thinking about it. So imagine being a pet in Emily's house. Okay, like you're used to the environment as it is. You're used to like cats are very territorial. They can be very territorial. Like the home is their complete space. And there are also dogs in the house, from what I hear. So the animals that were originally there, they know how to deal with each other. They're used to each other. And then the strange animals that they don't know are being brought into their space. That causes an imbalance. Like it may cause the pets that were originally there to act out, like freak out. Like they feel like there's some intruders here, which might lead to the peeing on sheets or beds or carpet or whatnot.
Because I will literally come for you. Oh.
It literally ruined the flooring because the pee would sit there until I got home from work to clean it. If you remember one of her vlogs, she talked about her responsibilities of letting the pets out.
So on days that Tommy works, especially, like I have the same like morning routine. I'll wake up, take the dogs out, refill cat food, dog food, water. It's just like every day, just my go-to.
How many times a day were you doing that, Amber? Were you letting the pets out like once a day? Because they got to pee multiple times a day. I'm just saying.
That lasted about 2 days. This started a lot of fights too.
It's just back at home in Oklahoma, like my routine is just a little bit different. But having to form another routine, you know, here in Wisconsin is a little hard.
It's hard to get up in the morning, let the pets out, check their food, their water, keep an eye on them. That's hard for you, Amber. You wouldn't make it in the real world. Really. And if letting the pets out to use the bathroom and checking their food and water is too hard for you, you don't need pets. If that's just too hectic for you, you don't need pets, girl. Someone needs to take those pets. And I saw Twinkie's nails, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Seriously, there's no reason for that. It would cost all of $15, $20 to get Twinkie's nails clipped. That's nothing to you. Go get them clipped, bitch.
Ugh, disgusting. Only time I remember her talking about her responsibility with the pets was when she did the video explaining how Rarity got out.
So usually I take the dogs out and this curtain.
Okay, I'm stopping in here for a reason. Y'all take a look at the outside. This is Wisconsin. It's cold outside. I don't know what the temperature was when Rarity got out, but you guys can see it is snowing. It's freezing outside. And little Miss Amber was too busy trying to save her relationship with Emily to go look for her cat, with that weather being what it is. And she's the pet owner, and she knows it's freezing outside, it's snowing, it's nasty weather, but no concern about where is Rarity. How is she? I gotta find her soon, or she's gonna freeze to death.
It is usually open.
I'm sure she talked about that stuff before, but I just can't remember. Actually, before I ask you about Rarity, how bad did the tantrums get? What was the worst? if you're okay talking about it. If not, I'll shut my face. The tantrums slowly escalated each time. It started with just her shouting at me, to escalating to her slamming doors and punching walls.
Remember what I said about when people get mad, they get ungodly strong? So during tantrums, she would punch walls. So can everybody understand that if Emily and Amber are having an argument, Emily is trying to get away from the argument and give some space. Maybe she's feeling threatened, maybe she's not feeling threatened, but if she's feeling threatened in some way, she's trying to get away from the threat. She's walking away. She's trying to go to another room. And here is this 500, 600-pound woman following her from room to room. And Amber is a big bitch. Huge. Much bigger than Emily. And then Amber practically pins her in the bathroom where there's no way out. So Amber, did you create a no way out, fight your way out situation with Emily? Is that why she kicked you? Because she felt threatened? I think you might have.
Anytime I tried to leave the room, she would block doorways.
Boom. Anytime I tried to leave the room, she would block the doorways. Fight or flight.
She was also really jealous. Anytime I talked about Colleen, I wasn't allowed to share memories or say anything about it really anymore, or she would end up getting really upset and pissed off at me for the rest of the day.
I know how much he loved Colleen and still does. Like, I fully get that. During arguments, she would literally tell me, "You're never going to be Colleen." Like, just saying how much better Colleen was. Like, I had to literally compare myself, and I was in competition with Colleen every single day of my life. Every single day of my life. Every single day that I was with her. But to continuously use Colleen as like a weapon, it became awkward for me.
It was really hard, but the worst of the tantrums was actually the night before Rarity went missing. She saw me scrolling through my phone and there was women on my Instagram feed. She flipped out and said I was micro-cheating.
I got really fucking upset. Obviously, anyone, even mentally well people would have been pissed, would have been so fucking hurt. Probably marriages would have been divorced, like that type of deal, okay? So we get in a big fight, duh.
The argument escalated really fast. That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me.
Stop. That part. All right, this part right here. She threw things at me. She didn't just throw things like you get mad at somebody, you're throwing something in some random direction. You're not aiming at the person. She threw things at Emily. She threw things at Emily.
That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me.
And she ends up throwing the can at my car. Made me mad.
So there's a pattern of her throwing things at people.
You saying if I could hit someone, I would? Okay. I can throw this at someone's head.
Did Amber throw a glass at your mom? Yes. She did.
Like, the fuck? I could take this and throw it? I'm just not a physically abusive person.
Ma'am, you throwing things at people is being physically abusive. When you throw things at people, you could hurt them. That's called assault. You understand that? It doesn't matter if you use your fist or an object, you are assaulting somebody. You could do damage. You can cause physical harm with whatever it is you're throwing. You're causing them physical harm, or you could potentially cause them physical harm. That's called assault.
I told her I was going to leave the room. She then grabbed my arm and dug her nails into my arm to the point of drawing blood.
That's assault because she is causing physical harm. So throwing something at Emily and then digging her nails into her arm, like invading her personal space, causing physical harm, drawing blood, assault.
All I remember is she got mad and she grabbed my arm. Dug her nails into my arm.
I tried pushing past her to get through the doorway and she pushed back into me and actually falling on top of me.
So far, Amber alleged. This is all alleged. There's no physical proof. This is all just Emily's word. According to Emily, Amber committed assault and physical bodily harm. And then she fell on top of Emily. And if you guys can imagine the pain of having a 500, 600-pound woman or person falling on top of you, you know that's got to hurt. That could be almost fatal.
I remember I tripped over her rug. I landed into her. She fell on the ground. And I'm like, as that's happening, I'm trying to get her, like, she's falling. I go to grab her off the ground. It didn't work out very well. She still landed on the floor. And then she started like hysterically, how come you pushed me? I'm like, what is actually happening? So she like, I don't know. It was this whole fucking thing. And I was like, this cannot be real right now.
I said, Jesus. She says, at that point, I was livid. I told her to go back to Oklahoma, and then I was absolutely done. And this is the night.
If all of this really happened, because again, it's all alleged, Amber is lucky she didn't go to jail. Emily could have called the cops on her and had her sent to jail.
Before Rowdy, right? Whew, it just pissed her off more. She then grabbed a picture of me and Colleen and held it up and threatened to break it.
That's dirty. Picking up a picture of someone and saying, this is your property, and it's something very sentimental, and threatening to destroy it. That's below the belt, Amber.
She knew that it was something that would hurt me more than anything she could do physically to me. Like the lowest she could go, she let her apologize and then tried begging for me back, saying that it was her BPD. There it is, At first, she denied that she did any of those things, which that sucked too.
No, I never destroyed her ex's photo. This genuinely cannot.
But the fact that you threatened to do it, I mean, who does that? Who does that? Who picks up a picture, a sentimental item that belongs to somebody else and say, I'm going to destroy this, knowing that the person in the picture meant something significant to the person that you're with? The person is no longer alive. So it's not like they can go and take another picture of them. And you're going so low as to, of everything in the house that you could have threatened to destroy, you're picking that item. You're picking it for a reason. You're being emotionally manipulative and cruel. I am not a fan of Emily, but that is cruel.
Like, I have never been so gaslit.
And I'm like, am I just imagining the gouges out of my arm? She apologized profusely when she knew that she couldn't gaslight me into believing it didn't happen.
So all of that happened. She's like, it didn't really happen. It didn't really happen. And Emily's like, well, did I imagine you doing this damage to my arm? So Amber was trying to like, it didn't happen, sweetheart. Like this didn't happen.
At that point, I went to my 12-hour shift after that. Jesus.
Can you imagine being a healthcare worker before your shift, before work, all of this happens? Somebody throwing things at you, they're putting their nails in your arms so much that it draws blood and they fall on top of you. And then you got to go to work after all of that, how much that messes with your mind and your body. That's crazy.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God, then you went.
And then you got to go take care of patients on top of that.
Back to work, I said. Right, here we go. After work, I didn't want to go back home. I was exhausted, drained, and didn't want to deal with her crap all over again. She had been blowing my phone up all day trying to apologize and see if I would change my mind about having her go back home.
Of course she would. She knew she messed up and she just wanted to stay.
Okay. After work, I went for a walk to decompress. She was not happy about that and was blowing my phone up asking me to come home. It was about 2 hours after my shift that I got a text from her saying that she couldn't find Rarity. She said she hadn't seen her all day but was just telling me this now. At that point, I came home right away. I figured she was just somewhere in the house and she was just saying that to try to get me to come home. But after I searched the entire house...
Okay, that one last part. She couldn't find Rarity all day, so she waited all day to tell Emily that she couldn't find Rarity. She deliberately waited hours to say something.
House, while Amber watched, she wasn't anywhere to be found. At that point, I moved the search outside. I was exhausted, but searched all hours of the night.
And keep in mind, Rarity is Amberlynn's pet, not Tommy's. And Tommy was the one searching for Rarity. Where was Amberlynn? Why wasn't Amberlynn participating in the search? It was her pet. She supposedly loves her so much, and yet she's not out looking for her. They're not riding around the car or something looking for her. No, Amberlynn's going to say to Emily, I know you're exhausted from your work. You go look for her. I'm not going to go walk around the neighborhood looking for her. You do it.
Looking for her, I really thought I would find her that night, but it was no luck. I know there's text messages coming up in a second. I'm waiting for that. At that point, I made posters and hung them up all around town to local businesses. I think Amber even said Emily's basically doing everything.
Tommy has made like online posters and put it on different websites and like went outside and we've been like yelling her name.
Posted on social.
Yeah, so that's all that Emily did. What did you do? I think the reason why you let Rarity out, you wanted her to be lost, and you didn't want her found, Amber, because if she were found, if Rarity had been found, that meant the moment that she was found, you would have to go back home to where you live. You didn't want her to be found. Maybe your way of thinking was, the longer she stays lost, the longer I can stay here. That's why you weren't actively looking for her, because you were looking for the trade-off. Oh, the longer she stays gone, the longer I can stay with Tommy.
Media and lost cat pages. Amberlynn's one job was to call the shelter to make a report. But when I called the shelter after they found a cat that was deceased, that kind of matched Rarity's description, it ended up not being her. The shelter told me no formal report was ever filed. The only info they had was the report from the lost pet database that I submitted. So at that point, I filed the formal report with the shelter with her description. But they could call if they had anybody turn her in. I'm sure when we saw the report, everybody was like, oh, Amber's got the age wrong of Rarity, and I'm sure there was something else wrong. I'll have to check. But I guess that would check out if Emily did it. Maybe.
Yeah, because Emily maybe wasn't sure about her age.
She would get the details wrong because... So anyway, I think that fits. But I spent hours upon hours driving around looking for her, walking through fields and in between houses around my house through the snow.
Emily's saying, I spent hours upon hours driving around, not Amber being there with her looking for Rarity. Notice that.
I think that's what everyone thought, yeah. Amberlynn would go in the drives with me, but obviously didn't do the walking around part.
Of course she didn't.
Again, I think...
Didn't care that much.
Everybody, yeah, said that. I would get so pissed when we were driving because she would have her head buried in her phone playing a stupid Farmville type game instead of looking out the damn window to find her cat.
I have this app on my phone. It's a game.
So once again, Amber's focus is on the game. And, oh, I could spend time with Tommy and not really caring about finding the cat. She didn't want to find Rarity. It's obvious she didn't want to find Rarity. She didn't file a formal report. She waited hours to tell Emily that Rarity was missing. She wasn't doing anything to actively look for Rarity. She wanted Rarity to stay lost.
And it's called like Harbor Gossip or Gossip Harbor. I don't even know, but I'm like obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with this game, Dice Dreams.
I loved Rarity, and she was a sweet cat that would always sleep on my chest. I did everything I could to try to find her. I can't say 100% that she purposely let her out, but given the circumstances, the situation doesn't look good. No, it does not.
No.
If it was a ploy to get her to be able to stay in Wisconsin longer, then I guess it definitely worked.
It was a lengthy stay that became lengthier because we loved being around each other, which...
No, obviously you didn't love each other.
Then became lengthier once Rarity went missing. I was not going to leave her here.
See the text messages coming up 2 seconds. Me again, I don't know if you're like Amber and keep old messages, but do you have any messages from Amber about Rarity going missing? It's the one after this one. Yeah, I do. I have the message of her initial reporting when she's missing, which is time-stamped. It shows that her story that she posted on her vlogs about being missing at 5 a.m. was not correct.
When it happened, it was 5 in the morning.
These are the texts between Amber and Emily. Amber says, "So am I leaving?" Wait, I read that wrong.
And again, the timestamp again, November 17th, 10:06 p.m. So it was late at night,
I also
not 5 a.m.
have moments where I snap at you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day.
So she noticed that Rarity was missing during the days and just let it go.
What time is this at? 10:06. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. Emily says, I'm afraid to come home, to be honest. Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch. Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch. Amber made a whole demonstration video at the back porch explaining what had happened. But here she's telling Emily, I didn't go to the back porch. Don't be afraid, I'm not going to cause you any stress. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room till you wake up for work. 10:26 p.m. If you didn't hurt me on purpose, why would you regret it? Get real. I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, I regret anything I've done that has hurt you. I understand. Oh my god, Princess is out. Emily's cat. Princess is out. She just went up the stairs into the bedroom. I was so confused for a minute. Emily, can I ask you something? What? Can I have another chance? No.
So the cat is lost and she's like, I just care about the relationship. You're trash, Amber. Trash. Trash.
So you want me to pack my bags and leave? Yes.
Yes.
Check snap, please. I've been abused before, and I was done to have stayed with her because look what it...
I mean, the messages are pretty clear. I don't want you to touch me. I do want you to leave. I want you to go. And she's like, check my snap. Why? What's that going to do? The relationship is over. She wants you to leave. She doesn't want you to touch her. Go. Just go. It's time to go.
Led to. And Amber says, I would never do that. I sent a whole video. It's...
Yeah. So Rarity is lost. It's winter. It's freezing. It's snowing. And she's sitting down to make a video for Emily. What?
Taking forever to send. Anyway, there's the text messages. I'll make another video talking more about it, but I'll keep reading. But yeah, very different to Amber's demonstration video. Funny that.
We get in a really fucking bad argument. She leaves through the glass door, leaves the door open. I did not notice because I did not go near the door.
Question. If you did not notice, how does you know that she left throughout the glass? How do you know how she left? You just said she left through the glass door, which points in the direction that you saw her leave, right? So how could you not know the door was open? You were right there, weren't you? Let's go over that again. Am I nuts? Let's go over that again.
We get in a really fucking bad argument.
Okay, so you're in an argument. So you're right there having an argument with her. Okay, go on.
She leaves through the glass door.
So you were right there. You're having an argument, and she leads to the glass door. So you see her lead to the glass door. You watch her do it.
Leaves the door open.
And you're seeing the door is open. And why didn't you shut it?
I did not notice because
you're not making sense. That does not make sense to me. You're having an argument with her. You see her lead to the glass door. You watch her walk out. You see the door open and you don't close it. And you're trying to say, I didn't notice. How could you not notice if you were right there? It was winter outside. We just saw the clip, Amber. You posted it. It's snowing outside. I'm sure it was down like the 20s and 30s. You don't notice that amount of cold coming in the house? No? Please.
I did not go near the door.
But you were right there by the door if you saw her leave.
I did not go near the door. I was sitting at the kitchen table. Wait.
You're not making sense. You just sat there and said you two had an argument. So how can you be having an argument and sitting at the kitchen table? If you were sitting at the kitchen table, I don't know the layout of Tommy's house. You're watching her walk out the door. You just described the scene in detail. If you see the door is open, why don't you shut it?
He heard her come home, and that's when I noticed the cold breeze. Literally left the fucking door open. And she booked it so fast she didn't even close the door.
I don't believe that either, and I said my reasons why for the last react, but I'll say it again. Emily is a person who already had pets. I believe there were dogs in the house, or a dog and a cat. You're a pet owner. You are very aware of your pets. And if you forget about if you have a guest and they have pets, you remember your pets. And it's almost second nature that you make sure all doors and windows and whatever else are closed when you leave. So how could that be possible? To have a pet owner that is used to having pets, and you know you have pets, and you get into the routine of like when you walk out, you close the door. I don't believe your story, Amber. No.
It was just a lot. In my brain, I was thinking, there's no way Brady got out. We're good. You know, it's like one of them things. It was the next day when I was like, something really just does not seem right. I haven't seen Rarity all day.
And you know what, ma'am? What kind of a pet owner are you? That you have a dog, you have a cat, or you did have a cat, poor Rarity. You have a kitten now. Anybody I've ever met that had a pet, you are very aware of where your pet is at, especially when you're home. Like if you don't see them within like a few minutes, you're looking around for them. You're like, okay, I haven't seen my pet in a few minutes. Where'd they go? Are they in the other room? Are they in, like, did I shut a closet and they're stuck in the closet or something? Like my cat, Queen Booger, if I don't see her within a few minutes, I'm looking for her. How is it that you have pets and you don't do that? Like you can just not see your pets for hours and you think that's perfectly normal. You don't need animals. If you're not aware of your animals and if you're not paying attention to your animals, you don't need them.
Oh my God, I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time. I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
Because it's your fault.
Right, me next. Well, that doesn't look good. She made a couple...
Even let's just say, even if Emily had left a door open, if it's Amberlynn's pets, who's responsible? Her. It's her responsibility to keep an eye on her pets and take care of her pets, true? It's Emily's responsibility to take care of her pets. It's Amber's responsibility to take care of her pets, to keep an eye on them. And if she's not, that's on her.
You was crying about Rarity? Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is shite. I don't remember saying that. I mean, it's true. Her acting is shite. I've always thought that. I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. Nobody did that. That's not just me. I was home for a few of them that she filmed. It was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying and put it on camera.
She just wanted to venture out. I know she just wanted to see.
So the crying and all the stuff about Rarity really wasn't for Rarity. It wasn't because of Rarity. It wasn't because she was sad over Rarity. It was because of a fight she had with Tommy. So Amber and Emily are having an argument. Amber is getting upset over that. And she's like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm crying. Let's make that into YouTube content. Since there's so many people in girl world that love animals, that are sensitive to animals, I have to act like I'm sensitive to animals too. And I'm heartbroken over Rarity when I'm really not. So I'm going to take another situation and I'm going to monetize this over here. I'm going to act like I care. I can't produce any real tears or real feelings for Rarity. I've got to pretend. I've got to use an argument to actually cry and seem like I'm crying over Rarity. Rotten. Absolutely rotten. Rotten. Who does that? Who thinks that way? I'm going to get into an argument with my partner And then my automatic thought is, oh, I'm crying. I'm upset. Time to make a video about a cat that's lost when I could be out there looking for the cat, making phone calls, contacting Facebook groups. Have you seen my cat? No. I'm just going to cry and be performative on YouTube. Fuck you, Amber.
No. Like, I don't know where the fuck she is, and it's been just like literally. Sorry.
I even asked her, why would you film right now if you're this upset? Which she...
And I got questions. Tommy, Emily, I got questions for you. I got so many questions. So you're with this person. She's abusive. She's gouged your arms. She has basically cornered you in a room. She's depriving you of sleep, and you have a job in the healthcare field. So you know that you're with an abusive person, right? That's what you're saying. She's caused physical harm to you. She's assaulted you. On top of that, you're watching the way she's doing things on YouTube, and you did not want to walk away. The two of you are still together. You were still talking to Amber during her little crash out live, and you went back into her chat today. You didn't break off contact. Why? Maybe the both of you are toxic. Maybe you're both pieces of trash. I don't agree with abusive behavior, whether you're toxic or not. Abuse is abuse, and it shouldn't be done, period. But why didn't you walk away? Why all this time still talk to her? Why contact her? Why were you talking to her during her little crash out live? I mean, she caused you physical harm. You know, like there's all this trouble with her. You're still talking to her. I don't get it. I don't.
would get pissed, so I never mentioned anything about the vlogs. No. She was obviously the expert and always knew what the right thing was to post. And I say, oh yeah, she's smashing YouTube. Right, start, you bastard. Emily says, a person can only watch so many videos about Legos, choosy, and the occasional bingo session before boredom sets in. She really doesn't do a whole lot of anything. And then I say, I always thought her rarity videos seemed fake. Well, so did everyone, not just me, yeah. Usually when she knows she's in the wrong, but doesn't want to admit it, she's over the top and extra dramatic about things, yes. And she was definitely over the top. And I say, what was she like in the following weeks or however long? What she said about rarity? Did she talk about rarity? Oh, may as well. Also, not to bombard you, but I'll ask while it's just popped in my head and I'm still awake. I just saw a clip earlier today of you and her at the Billie Eilish.
Now watch the end of this clip. Watch Emily's face.
Eilish concert, whatever she's called. Still don't know. You looked miserable.
Yeah. Watch that smile just disappeared as soon as Amber looked away.
We did talk about her because I was actively searching for her. She would say how much she missed her every once in a while, but she definitely handled it better than I would have ever if I lost my pet.
Oh, that makes me miss Rarity. I miss her so much. Sorry. Moment of silence.
She would cry sometimes.
Moment of silence. Why? Is she gone?
But she didn't cry like she did on camera about her. Oh, okay, right. I definitely feel like this was a huge distraction from the big fight that happened. Oh, yeah. It seemed to blow over faster than it should have. I wanted to keep it civil while she was here, while we were looking for the cat. That's when she tried signing up for therapy in Wisconsin to show that she was going to get help for how she acts.
I need to do therapy for BPD. So, I found a dude. Why did I say it like that?
We would argue on and off, though, but she was actively trying to minimize her tantrums. I bought those tickets for her well before this happened. They were really expensive, and because they were in a premium seat, I couldn't resell them. I knew how much it meant to her to see Billy, so I took her. I tend to forgive too easily. At me again. So how did you get her to leave eventually? Because she told us she left because she was a grown-up and had an apartment or some nonsense. It was something stupid like that, wasn't it?
What was the real reason you went back to Oklahoma and didn't stay in Wisconsin? Because I have a whole ass apartment. I have a whole life here. I love my apartment. I love living alone in a responsible way. I belong here right now. So that is why we're currently in a long distance relationship, but I do see us moving in together in the future.
Didn't make sense.
The girls don't know how to do alone well, neither Foodie nor Amber. That's why they jump from person to person. They don't know how to do alone well. So all of that stuff that Amber just said about, I love my apartment. I love being here. No, you don't. You're there because you have to be. But if you love being alone, why was a 2-week stay with Emily turned into 3 months? Because you didn't want to be alone. You're a control freak, Amber, and it's harder to control people when they're far away.
Anyway, also again, while it's in my head and I'm awake, I bet driving her home wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I think that's when Mop Legs was born, wasn't it? The drive home.
Bottom of her feet just mopping up the piss out of truck stop bathrooms. Oh, she's so gross, man. Oh.
She couldn't keep up her normal behaviour for too long before her true self came out again, and we started arguing all the time. I finally got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and told her she's going back home. I drove her back home to Oklahoma myself instead of waiting for her mom to come do it. I don't know why she was insistent on making it seem like it was her decision. Alright, why Amber was acting to us like, oh, it's my decision. Right, okay.
I don't want to talk about this, but I was in Wisconsin and I chose to came back.
I think the reason why she did that, like, it's my decision. I want to come home. In every story, the narcissist has to be the victor or the hero. They don't want anyone to think that they've been rejected or sent home. Like, it was my decision, really. I chose to do this because I'm independent. I can take care of myself, even though we know better. She wanted to go with the narrative of, I wanted to do this. She doesn't want anybody to know that it was somebody else's decision and I'm getting kicked out and they don't want to be with me anymore. Because that just makes her look bad, doesn't it?
Come home myself. Because I love living by myself. Like,
no, you don't. No, you don't. And every girlfriend that you've had for the last several years, they weren't just girlfriends to you. They were live-in, cheap caretakers. A professional, real caretaker would be very expensive. You were treating the girlfriends in your life as not just a girlfriend and companion, but they were house cleaning. They did your laundry. They took care of your pets. They ran your errands. You were using your girlfriends for a variety of jobs, none of which they got paid for. So I'm sure you know that all the things you need done, there could be one person per errand, per job, and it would be very expensive. So let's just find a girlfriend, draw her into your toxic, codependent web, wrap her in silk, put her in a position where she's codependent on you, and you can get all kinds of things out of her for cheap.
Genuinely, Tommy didn't want me to leave. Tommy said I am welcome there forever.
Oh, it was 19 hours. I drove
You saw that text message. Do you want me to leave? She said yes.
19 hours straight through and flew home the next day. It took that long because of all the stops she had to take. Oh, God, yeah. That was the longest drive of my life, figuratively and literally. Within the first hour of the drive, she was screaming at me so much that Twinkie freaked out and jumped under my feet on the driver's side floor.
Poor Twinkie. Imagine your own pet being so scared of you, and you're yelling and screaming that they're reacting to the noise, they're reacting to the energy, and you're like, I'm scared. Amberlynn, you're awful. Your pets are scared of you. You create a scary environment. That's why you shouldn't have pets. You can't take care of them, and you create an environment that makes them uncomfortable. Like, if you can't take care of you, how can you take care of pets? It just doesn't make sense.
I was driving on the highway and I had to pull over because she won't come out. I don't even remember what she was mad at me about. I think it was a comment over me getting to choose the music on the radio since I was driving that long and she wanted to choose to listen to.
Have you enjoyed the ride so far?
I do. I like it. Even the music and everything.
Even the music.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
We had a Billie
Are you
Eilish
happy?
streak, yes.
That's what
And I
matters.
appreciate you guys taking me.
That's what matters.
Well, yeah, this is her again. After she was back home, she tried ringing me back in, saying she was going to therapy and actively working on it, and maybe the distance would be good to help us eventually be able to be together again without the fighting. We had a lot of on again, off again stuff. I think we all knew that as well, yeah. Every time I tried to cut things off after things were getting bad again, she'd always have some sort of health scare to bait me back in. Well, that doesn't sound like Amber at all, does it?
Nope.
So they're doing everything they can. She was like, oh, it just means like you could possibly have a blood clot. That's why we checked your lungs. What? I'm itching so hard. I am causing welts.
Oh, and then I say that she's done that on YouTube for years, gets found out or has some big drama, and then returns with, oh, hey guys, I have a new health issue. And also a poor Twinkie man. Anytime I've seen that dog on camera, they look terrified. I know why now. And again, I'm probably remembering wrong, but I'm sure Amber said she was on FaceTime with you when she was in a store with her mum when you ended it. Probably remembering it wrong. Sorry, probably am. How did you end it and how did she take it? Both her pets would get scared during a tantrum. Wasabi would always run and hide in his little enclosed litter box when she would yell.
It's so awful. The pets live in that bad energy. Amber, you suck. I want to say more, but YouTube would slap me upside the head and probably take my channel away. But that's all I can say is you suck.
I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for Twinkie too, being stuck inside 24/7. I had to say I have no idea about when or what time she's referring to about being in the grocery store. I might be remembering it wrong. Probably am. I had to end it for a multitude of reasons. She obviously didn't take it well. There was a lot of threats made of trying to ruin my life if I said anything publicly of her online.
So, you know, I'm going to fucking snowflake. But if you share a video, which I have never shared screenshots of it, if you share a video of me during a BPD meltdown where I'm half naked due to your betrayal, that's when suing will happen. Absolutely.
It's a soft love. It's a soft love, it really is. She still tries to reach out to me. Sometimes she's civil, and sometimes she's absolutely unhinged.
And I'm going to say it again. Why isn't she blocked? Why haven't they blocked each other? All that stuff happened. Why maintain contact? I don't get it.
You don't say. Emily again. She did do a lot of threatening anytime she felt like she didn't have control of the situation. I'm still worried she's going to totally lose it once she finds out I talk to you.
I should be fucking showering right now. I should be fucking washing my hair. I should be just fine and dandy. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right here.
Well, she went live twice, just before bed and when she woke up. When I watched that Beck and Destiny collab, I was shocked at the similarities. Yeah, it's the same MO, isn't it? Unless they're not giving all the details. I feel like she's gotten worse since then, not better. Maybe she was just rough on me because I didn't put up with her crap or fall for her manipulation. I do feel drained too. Oh, have I missed the message? Sorry. Anyway, I think I said I felt drained just listening to it, so it must be worse for her. Do feel drained too. It's not a time I like to think about or remember. It's all a lot. I appreciate you respectfully listening to what I have to say so I can share my side of the story and not let her control the narrative. Is that it? That's it. I'm just glad they were in order. Like I said, the first time, well, the only time I've went through them is when I was talking to Emily, and then I quickly put them up, and then I've done this. Right, that is it. Well, it's it for now. Because I know she's gone live twice and blamed Emily for Rarity getting out. And today, I only caught a couple of clips, but she seemed very smug. So.
She's still smug. And she's smug because she's getting what she wants. She's getting a lot of views. People are sending a lot of hate super chats. And she's even smug with the hate super chat. She goes, thanks for the money. So I don't understand why people keep sending her money. That's just wild to me. Absolutely wild. But like, she's smug. She's still smug.
The end of this video was meant to be me saying something along the lines of, Amber, take accountability, like you didn't do with Beck. take accountability, say sorry, and genuinely try and improve. And this won't go away, but it'll be the end of it for me making videos and for Emily. Emily just wanted to get this off her chest. And this would have been it. This would have been my only video, and Emily would have been done. However, because Amber is super smart and acted very smug in today's live stream and blamed Emily, Emily is rather pissed. And now it's not the end of it, which it was gonna be. So we're not done. I don't think we're done anyway. From the little bit of conversation I had with Emily today, I don't think we are done. And there is more to come out. Yeah. So yeah, just Amber shot herself in the foot by just having to come online and lie and act really smug. A lot of stuff there. Yeah, you don't have to believe Emily. Loads of people won't. I'm sure some people will. But the messages, I'll just talk about it in a second. Yeah, there it is. So am I leaving? So she knows this is it now. Emily's not taking her nonsense. It's game over. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. This is at 10:06. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. Looking everywhere. But then also says I didn't go to the back porch.
Right. Looking for her everywhere, but didn't go to the back porch.
Okay. I didn't want to pester Emily too much because, like I said to her, it's draining listening to. I'm guessing people are drained listening to it now. So I didn't want to just ask her a million questions. But, like I said, after the smugness of today, I've said, look, if you want to find more proof about anything, go for it. Go for it. Go through your phone. Do an Amber. Go through your phone. Anything you like. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Emily is pissed. What a dumb move. Just come on camera, say sorry. And then just... I mean, we did it with Beck, didn't we? And I stupidly thought... I was the only one. I stupidly thought, oh, I'm going to get the arc I envisioned when I first started watching Amber. She's going to come good in the end. She's going to turn it around. Because she said she was going to take accountability. And I believed her? And she obviously didn't and blamed Beck for everything. Just did what she... The clips I've seen of the live stream today, she did that with Beck. Just turned it around and said, oh, Beck did this. It was Beck who did all this. And yeah, like what I've seen today... Oh, it was Emily. Emily did this. All right, okay. Anyway, there's your messages. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of it now. Just what a dumb move. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks very much, everybody. Amber, you're so... Why? Why act smug?
Because she's making all kinds of money right now and she knows it.
Wrong move. Right, cheers, everybody.
Okay, so that was the video courtesy of Under the Hood, Mr. Snowflake. I will leave the link for the original video down below if y'all want to watch it without my commentary, or you want to sub up to Under the Hood, Mr. Snowflake, and give a like, give a sub. Let him know how much you appreciate him doing videos like this. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.